did he? Huh. Never heard of that game before. Okay, hopefully everyone can hear me. Everyone can hear the music. Oh, I might get up. Alright, let's see where we're... Oh! Ow! Hello, folks. Shove these out of the way so I have somewhere to put my phone so I can see chat. Alright. Alright, and we are back to our lovely couple here. So, if I recall, last time we painted up her body a bit. I am gonna dry brush a little bit to highlight up her black. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do purple, just to emphasize the purple mix on her some more. These backwards. So, ignore the Space Marines. This is from a current project I am behind on and trying to catch up desperately with, but I keep running into snags. So it sits on my table in various progress. I'm slowly getting there, but I haven't been doing well last few weeks, so I am quite behind on a lot of things. One of these guys missing. Biting off more than I can chew and convincing myself I can do more than I can actually do. Alright. So I'm gonna use this color called Hexed Lichen. The thing is, I need to be very careful because I'm using a very large brush to do this part. Just need to be careful not to hit. Brains. This is supposed to be subtle. Okay, so that should highlight her up a little bit. Give her... So I've got her lower body down. We're gonna get her upper body. But I will need some tools. she is supposed to basically be Ursula for this little project, so I need to paint her up that way. I'm gonna clean up all of this. A big blob of paint. I'm not going to use a larger one, just because I need to be carefully controlled so I don't accidentally get on this guy. Let's hope I'm not too twitchy today. I've been twitchy a lot. It is going to be a bit tricky. Try and be as careful as I possibly can. Is control. Try to keep the paint flowing without it being super runny. I don't want it too thick either. Oh, my hands are shaking horribly. Good. Getting into some of these spots trickier. Like, but have to make do with what I can do. Okay, this will serve as the base for her skin. We have to let it dry. And I'm gonna have to clean this up a bit because the color shift paint, I need to start a white base or a very light base. Basically, no color. Oh shit. Man, I am so jittery the last few weeks. I haven't been feeling well. Let's make this harder. Hi, Ez. God, I wish I had my sound alerts were working so I knew when I saw a message. But hello, Ez. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm trying my best. It's just the part of the reason I'm not feeling well is the weather. It's getting cooler here. Like we've had snow off and on the last few weeks, so it's much cooler and it's dry. Also higher altitude, so I don't apparently do as well with these conditions. Even though I've been here a couple years, not living here a couple years now. And of course, things like seasonal depression don't help and all that, so toughing it out, but it's not been easy because it put me behind on a lot. Okay. If she has any sachets on her side? No. Okay. I have to find that paint. It's stashed somewhere. Where is it? It's not in there. And it's not in that container, I don't think. Nope, that's ink? No, that is not it. It's in this container. There it is. Paint I haven't used in a while. Put it for a bit longer on the vortex mixer. Hopefully this mixes it up enough. I haven't used this paint in quite a long while. I forgot, it smells like bubblegum. I forgot this paint smells like bubblegum. Just got hit with a smell. I was like, what the? I'm like, oh right, it has an actual sweet smell to it, which is funny. Alright. It's already pretty watery, so I don't think I need really to add more water to it. I didn't make this very well. So it usually takes a few layers to get on right. This is my temp paint. We're responds to the temperature, either basically the ambient temperature around it. Once it goes past, I believe it's 70, so basically body heat temperature. It goes from purple to pink. It goes from purplest purple to pinkest pink, which I think is fun. So I'm gonna do a coat on there. Yeah, if I dig up my Slaanesh model that's hiding around here somewhere, there it is. Yep, or one of my Slaanesh models. This is done in that. This is what it looks like once it's fully painted, so it's very purple. And if I hold my finger to it for a few seconds, now it might be hard to see on camera. The camera doesn't quite catch the color change very well. Becomes pink. I wanted my Slaanesh, Warhammer Slaanesh stuff, demons and whatnot, to basically very opulent, and I thought a color changing paint, basically color changing paints would be very decadent. It changes between two very rich colors, also just because it'd be trippy, because like, I haven't tested to see how it responds to like ambient temperature. I'm assuming it responds the same way, but like, you walk in somewhere and it's purple, but as like, it progresses, the temperature of the room rises and everything, the color starts to change and kind of mess with somebody viewing at it because they're either seeing it while it changes or they recall seeing it one way but now it looks different, which I think is a fun idea. Thing is, this paint requires many layers to go on correctly. I also didn't. I had to make it by hand essentially. The kit it came in is basically raw paint pigment and base, and I think I did the ratio a little off, so it's a little soupy. Is a little soupy. I gotta let it get a good dry before I move on to the next layer. It takes like 3 or 4 coats, sometimes more. Running it through an airbrush gets it on smoother, which is what I did with that cloak, but this is such a small area, I am not confident enough to attempt doing it with the airbrush on such a small surface without a lot of spell. It's interesting, it's trying to turn pink because of the temperature, I think, in the room. We're just gonna keep adding to it until we get a pretty even coat. I can probably airbrush this relatively safely. There's a bit of a larger controlled area, which is what I'll probably end up doing down the road. We'll kind of wait to last before I get to that step fully. on as smooth as possible. We're getting there. It's just slow build up. Luckily, because this is a fine art paint, the pigment is so groundly atomized, I don't have to worry about it clogging up details unless I did like 50 layers. It's interesting it's already turning pink. I think it's because of my proximity to the model too, is not. Okay, I may need to do a little shading around it first before I keep building up layers, because I think the fact that the edges aren't quite flush is what's throwing me. So there's the first of her fabrics. And I need to get my dread, because that's what her skin's gonna be. Base edge. Oops. Oh, because he's not actually done. He's almost done. Whatever that did. Okay. We're gonna do fixing up the edges of the cloth here so it blends in with her body. Like, loosen up my brush first. Should help with that. Then we'll go ahead and get skin. One of these days I'll be able to afford a camera setup where it's angled better, so it's not just a top down, it should be kind of more from my perspective, like an over the shoulder perspective. But I don't have the money to get the equipment for that kind of rig right now. Maybe next year, we'll see. Just depends on how things go. I use this to color his skin as well. it's kind of a marrying point between them, is the use of purples. That's what I'm trying to go for. See if we come across that way. I'm using a little bit of water to smooth out the surface tension so it flows a little looser. Hopefully create more gradual changes. There are areas like around her hair I want to be purposely darker. An actual shadow. I will also end up, I think, going back over areas like a true purple wash to really get those shadows. I have to be super careful here not to smear this on his skin. So discolor it. Okay. I think we got her there. Okay. I think I'm gonna do another. Now that I've done the black around the purple. Soak that up so it's not so stark. I also don't know how painting over this affects this. I'm gonna do a few more layers once this dries, but and it turned back to purple. Okay. Fabric's hanging there, but I don't want to quite work on that side yet. There are a lot of weird gaps on this model. I tried to fix them, but didn't quite succeed at that, because some of them were pretty bad. Like required sculpting, I am not comfortable doing. Oh, I forgot. She has an arm. She's got one of her arms wrapped around the back of him. I think this white paint is gray. It's not white. It's basically a dark white. It's really light gray. To rehydrate it. I forgot about her hand right here. Her whip. That's her arm. There. Difficult to get to. Gonna look a little messy, but it's okay. It's areas that aren't noticeable for the most part. Unless you purposely call attention to it, which I don't know why you would. freeze drying. I guess we can finish this wing. So I need gold for that. I guess I could have used the mirror paint, but I haven't used the mirror paint yet. I think that would have been too much because it would just be the one plating. I'll save the mirror paint for shields and areas that are gonna be very extravagant. Yeah, I have a mirror finish paint, which should be fun. Done by the same artist who makes the temperature changing paint. I have a fair amount of their paints. They're always neat. I always like having cool, quirky paint tools to use on models. Something interesting. That's one of the neat challenges about painting models, because it's like painting it to make it look interesting. Essentially a coloring book. Fascinating coloring book. Try not to touch that. Someday the Ford and upgraded camera setup, so it's a lot easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. Now this camera angle is not helpful or flattering for some angles. Okay, so that is actually gonna be left there. Not painting with my wrist brace is very risky. I did Seraphim Sepia for this? Yeah, I didn't do rose gold. I didn't want to do rose gold. I wanted a more subtle gold. Yeah, more brown gold, kind of blend in with everything. Okay. Stop delling like that. Okay. Please start shading the gold. I'll have to cut today's session a bit short because I'm feeling super exhausted. Whoa! I just broke it. Oh, fuck. This is why I haven't been doing much. Shit. Well, I just broke something. Luckily, it's a easily repairable area. I think I chipped anything completely off, which is good. But, frick. That's not good. Okay. Well, I guess we're not doing more painting because I have to let this dry. Shit. Okay. I have to let this set and dry. It needs to sit overnight so I don't run the risk of it coming apart. Oh, shiitake. And since it's not... Sit? Okay. Well, cool. Well, luckily it was an easy break to fix, but I think that's a sign maybe I am way more off kilter than I thought, because fuck, that could have been really bad. I think I'm just gonna count my luck, let that sit and fix itself, and come back to this Wednesday, or not Wednesday, Thursday, likely. Wednesday is likely not going to be an MTG stream. I'll probably do something else. I'll have to check with everybody because one of Fang's computer is out of commission, but there's still 4 of us, so we could still do a game. I'll just see what everyone wants to do. And I know it's close to Christmas, so schedules are all over the place. But thanks for joining me. I'm sorry I'm kind of not so short. I am way off, apparently. So, just gonna... see who is online. I think Mr. E is just starting. And I've got Nobilu, who I think who hasn't been streaming for very long. So we'll go say I don't think I've rated Nobilu in a while. Yeah, thanks Ez, and yeah, I will try to have a good night, calm myself down. I've still got a lot of work to do, so we're gonna go raid Nobi. Oop, that's not their name. I spelled it wrong. There we go. Right, so thanks for tuning in, guys. I will see you all on Wednesday. Probably do some gaming. I'm moving on to Mordheim as the randomizer chose for me, since we're done with Insound Mine. If we're not doing MTG Wednesday, else we'll do MTG Wednesday. And then Thursday, we'll make some more progress. Hopefully I don't break it again. But you guys enjoy some art with the lovely Nobi, and I will see you all later. I'm gonna go calm down.